Hey, thanks for watching. Today we're joined by Dave McSpadden. He's the founder and CEO of DMC Electric, and today we're going to talk about his story, how he started his business, and get some contractor advice. I'm Josh Farley, president of Redline Electric and Solar. Join me as we talk to contractors, business owners, and experts who are willing to share their experiences to help you overcome obstacles when you're taking your business up and to the right. Dave, thanks for coming in.
Hey,
appreciate it. Tell us how you got started.
Well, just working in the field with different contractors around, and they brought in some management that I thought was foolishness, so I decided to do it on my own.
That's pretty scary, but you had a background as far as in your trade before you went out on your own.
Oh yeah, no, I was probably 12 years in the trade.
Gotcha. And do you have apprenticeship or?
No, I actually learned it hands-on.
Learned on the job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned on the job. It's probably one of the best ways to learn.
Yeah, there's something to be said about apprenticeship, but on the other hand, hands-on is where I learned it.
Gotcha.
You know.
So looking back now, how long have you been in business?
26 years.
Congratulations, that's great. So looking back, what were some of the struggles you had when you first started, and how might some other contractors be able to overcome those?
I think cash flow is the biggest struggle that we had.
Gotcha.
Having enough money to pay payroll, pay for parts, and keep a business afloat when you had the slow pay of everything that was coming in at the time,
You do both residential and commercial?
Yeah, and industrial.
Gotcha. So I'm familiar with some commercial clients that take a lot longer to pay than residential. So there's been times where when I started my business, I didn't even take a paycheck because there wasn't any money. I had to pay the guys first. Otherwise you'd lose them.
Right.
So thinking about that, what would you do? How would you do differently? How would you? If you had advice for the guy coming up, how would you manage that cash flow now? Or how do you manage cash flow now?
Well, the cash flow now is I've got good customer base that pay.
Gotcha.
And we're established, and we have funds to back us now that we built.
Right.
We started out with nothing.
Right.
A screwdriver and a truck.
So let's talk about a customer base, a good customer base. Building a good customer base is give and take. So you offer free estimates.
Right.
We offer free estimates. At what point do you stop offering free estimates?
About 3 times in.
3 times.
Yeah, 3 to 5 times. If I know someone's just using me for a number or playing me or wasting my time, I just tell them I don't have time.
Right.
And I walk away from it. You either give us a little bit of work, throw the dog a bone, so to speak, or you pull back.
Right.
I
mean, there's only so much time you can invest in trying to please a client or a potential client because really they're not a customer. The customer is always right, but they're not a customer unless they buy something.
That's right.
And how do you keep them managed on your customers now? So you've got a technician in the field. You run service work, so you got a technician in the field with a fully loaded truck. They all got company cell phones. They're out there. They're the driving force behind your business.
Yes.
Customer face. How do you keep those guys from doing side work?
That's a tough one. I offer them a little bit better pay than most, a little bit better benefits. I look for, the DMC used to be my initials.
Right.
Now it's dedicated, motivated, and committed.
Gotcha.
And that's what I'm looking for out of the guys I hire.
So it really comes down to the morals of the employees.
Yes.
In the past, during the slow times, did you ever see a rise in problems with the guys doing side work?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had guys. Every story possible, stealing from me, stealing parts from me, buying parts of the supply house, using that for their side job, making a profit on everything that I've worked for.
Right.
Using my truck, my tools. I even had a scenario where a customer that this guy was doing a side job for called me for a warranty call because it didn't go right, and I said, we haven't even invoiced you. What are you doing?
Right. It wasn't us.
It wasn't us. He said, well, your truck was there.
Well, I think that goes with the customer. The customer wants to save money.
Right.
So we got to be a resource to the customer, but at what point? So the customer does want to save money, so they go. I know because it's happened to my guys. They proposition our guys to do the work on the side, try to make a deal, but then when it doesn't work out or they can't do it on their timeline, they get upset. And right now, especially right now with people being one of the number one problems that you have is because of the lack, I think, the low wages. As far as I'm concerned, it's the low wages
Right.
is driving people out of the industry, or it had been in the past. Now that we have a shortage of guys, tradesmen, and guys working, and there's a ton of work, I think it's going to start to help bring back more value to our companies.
Yeah, and the other problem about it is that a lot of contractors out there have trained these guys to skip ponds, so to speak.
Gotcha.
Okay, so a guy comes to work for you, he doesn't like how you do things. Oh, I'll go hire someone else. And that when the economy gets better, that's what they do. They start going from job to job to job. There's no loyalty, no commitment
Right.
to an individual.
Right.
So I hire guys that come in that talk to me about, I'm looking for a home and a place to stay where I don't have to bounce around.
Gotcha.
And that works out okay until the pressure's on, and then it sometimes fails. But
Right. What do you do to get new customers?
solely reputation.
It's just word of mouth?
Yep.
Do you knock on doors? Do you
Nope.
advertise?
Nope.
You guys just stay busy.
Busy is busy.
What a blessing.
Yeah. No.
No, good for you.
serious. I
Do
don't
you think there's some? I mean, do you think there's something you could be doing? Let's think about the last
Well,
time
yeah,
you might have been slow. How'd you guys continue?
Well, when we get slow, I just reach out to the existing customer base I have,
Gotcha.
and I throw it out there, in a very nice way that I haven't heard from you in a while. Anything we can do for you,
Right,
we've dropped our rates a little bit to help out the economy situation,
Yep.
to pay it forward.
So that was back when
in
gotcha.
the 08 and that, yeah, and that was a struggle. That was probably the worst. I had a peak in about 06, and in 08 we fell, and we hit hard. I lost guys who've been with me for 15 years,
Wow.
and it hit hard. And I learned some valuable lessons, and that is, don't go buy a bunch of trucks because the CPA tells you to, because you're going to get a big tax break.
Right.
Because now you got no work and you got 7 truck payments.
Right.
Well, geez, they don't think about that.
You might get a tax break, but you still have to pay for it.
got to pay for those
I mean, you
trucks.
still got to buy the truck.
Yeah.
Whether your tax
You've
break
got
or not.
payments and insurance, and yeah, it was tough.
But looking at the bad times, and you got to take the bad times with the good.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being a business owner? Do you like it?
I do. I enjoy my business. I enjoy the challenge of it. It's not all good. There's a lot of negativity that comes with it. But when you balance it out, it's pretty good. I like it. I enjoy
Freedom. You get the freedom to do what
it.
you
Yeah, I
want.
do whatever I want.
Gotcha.
We make good money at what we do. We're very successful. And like I say, I enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, why do it?
Right. You ever feel like giving up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Every other day.
You ever feel like starting something different?
Yeah, every other day.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel the same way sometimes.
I wish that there was
grass is always greener on the other side.
I wish there was something that I could do that I didn't have that I didn't have to travel so much in traffic,
Right.
and something I could do that maybe people would bring it to me and I could fix or repair, or something of that nature. But now I don't want to be an auto mechanic,
Right. Gotcha. Right.
or an appliance guy. So
So now, so you've been in business 26 years. Now you got to look at the future. What's the future look like? Are you going to pass this company down to your children? Are you going to sell it?
Well,
or?
that was my intention. I've got 2 boys that are electricians, and neither of them are interested in it.
They don't work for you?
They don't work for me, and one lives in Wisconsin, the other one works for another bigger company here.
Gotcha.
But the problem is they don't have, in my opinion, what it takes to follow through with a business, with the plan, and keep it going.
Gotcha.
Because there's no slack time.
Right.
You're always
No.
on the cutting edge of stuff. You're
Right.
always on the cutting edge.
Well, I mean, as an employee, you can take days off, you can clock in,
Right.
clock out, and you don't have to think about it.
Right.
But as an employer, I mean, it's on 100%, 24 hours a day.
It's on my mind all the time.
So that being said, you're probably going to sell.
How
do you think you should, or what are some things that you're going to do to position yourself to create better value for your company?
Just keep with a solid customer base, for one thing.
Right.
Employees will change all the time, and so the other thing you have is assets, vehicles, tools, and parts.
Right.
You know,
Gotcha.
And I'm not sure, what if anyone would, what kind of value do you put on it?
Right. I'm trying to figure that out. So I mean, we've got guests coming in talk about how they sold their business. So we're trying to get to the bottom of what how you value a contractor's company versus a software company. I mean, because I've seen softwares or recurring revenues. I've seen a recurring revenue company go for 37 times their monthly gross. So it's hard to say where a contractor's company is valued, but we're going to get to the bottom of it one way or another.
It's a matter of what someone's willing to offer you.
For sure. For sure. It all comes down to a handshake and an agreement.
Right.
Let's talk about some of the niches that you've created for yourself. So, in my business, we have a few niches: home builder solar,
right.
Commercial service work,
right.
and then generator backup. So
right.
those are 3 niches that we focus on. I know that you specialize in some dangerous environments as far as Class 1, Div 1. Tell us about how that helps drive your business value.
Well, it's you have a source of ignition, which is electrical, and you have fumes that blow up. So there is a certain code put in place to avoid all that.
Right.
And a lot of contractors don't understand it. A lot of contractors either overbuild or underbuild. They lose money on it because they don't know what they're doing. And then the control part of it is, pretty intense on just a fuel dispenser versus what it does and how it communicates and how it turns pumps on, motors on, how you pump your gas.
Right.
There's a lot involved to it.
And then you got to have everything tied to emergency shutoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely one of those niches that if you could be an electrician for 30 years and never step foot on a gas station, or
That's
never
right.
wire a controller, or never have to put the stuff in the seal off.
Right.
And I forgot what it's called because it's been 10 years.
Chico, yeah.
Chico, thank you. So finding a niche
Chico
like that.
or Chica.
Chica, depending on if it's right. Very funny. That's clever. So that niche itself brings value to your business
right.
because there's not a lot of competition there.
Right.
Do you find that that's a majority of your business?
No, it's probably 25%.
Gotcha. That's pretty good for a niche.
Yeah, and I've got the other thing is basically being a service contractor. And it's paying attention.
Right.
It's doing what you're saying you're going to do, customer communication. Being fair and honest and straightforward. Don't tell a customer, I'll be there at 9:30 and show up at 9:35.
Right. That's close.
Yeah.
That's close. I almost take it. Almost. So thinking about that, how are you going to, like for me, I want to help the guys that come up behind us. So what's some advice you'd give a contractor just starting out?
Run like hell.
Run like hell.
No, it is. It's tough.
Right.
It's a hard knot to swallow. It really is. There's nothing easy. It's rewarding and gratifying, but there's nothing easy about it at all. Nothing.
Not starting for sure.
And even in all the way through, it's a barrage of a storm that brews all the time. And like with us, we stay right on the cutting edge of stuff. So we have the emergencies that something's not working, something's not lighting, something's wrong. They need power, they need it now, and they're not going to wait.
Right.
And so you have to have the resources to be able to pull that together and say, here, let me pull a guy from this job and put him over here and get you taken care of, and then go back and finish this thing that he's doing over here.
Right.
Without upsetting too much of the timeline, because I don't have a whole slew of guys. I'm staying very small.
Right.
I'm not going to get it more than 4 guys.
Gotcha. And that's just your comfort zone?
That's my comfort zone. That's where I make the best money.
Gotcha.
I can build anything with 4 guys, and I don't have to do a whole bunch of babysitting.
Right.
And that's the whole trick. I'm a self-manager. I take care of all the field, all the scheduling, everything to do with that, all the guys, and my wife does all the paperwork and all the books and all that. And she does a phenomenal job on that. We have just me and her, and my daughter helps her out a little bit.
Gotcha.
So there's the element is that you can make this work however you want to make it work. You can grow as big as you want to grow. It's all a matter of how far you can take it as an individual without the total frustration of everything. And
Gotcha. Well, I mean, you find in any business, I imagine you find your comfort zone, what works for you, and,
Right.
and, if you wanted more, you'd be getting it.
Right. I at one point did quite well back when the economy was going. I had 20 guys working for me. I don't know if I made any better money.
Right.
I think I probably did, but I had a lot of truck payments. I had a lot of insurance to pay out. I had a lot of accidents, not so much accidents, but guys get hurt here and there, work comp claims, and then you have the guy stealing from you, and all that stuff.
Right.
Everything in a ball of wax, and when you get down to the end of the day, did you make any money? How much money did you make?
Was it worth it?
Right. Did you just do an exercise? I did a lot of exercises.
Right.
In business.
Good.
A lot of exercises. I mean, stuff that doesn't even make sense.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, build a job and make zero money.
Oh, right. I got
Exercise.
you. Yeah, no, it's happened. It happened to us. I mean, it's happened.
It's
happened to everybody,
right.
and we just call those learning, learning experiences.
Yeah.
How much did it cost you? But if you can get out for at zero cost, or even a small penny in the pot,
Yeah. I mean, and there's even jobs I've had that I've lost money on, which not many, but a few.
Right. Well, I mean, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, and because of things that weren't seen or the guys that took it to a limit.
But those are the things that help you move forward and become a better.
Yes.
And you look for those things in the future. And
it's a triple F.
Right.
Fail forward fast.
Correct.
You're always going to fail.
I think that's an entrepreneurism.
It is.
Fail forward fast.
It is.
No, I love it.
Marshall Silver.
Dave, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
They can go online at DMC Electric, or they can go call the office at 602-274-3736.
Great.
And schedule something.
Awesome. Thanks for coming in.
You bet.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you like what we're doing here, subscribe to our podcast at iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, and to our YouTube channel to see more episodes. Go to upandtotheright.org to get all the links.